There's no markhor around at all. And then suddenly you could start to see a few boulders rolling down, and there's one markhor was coming down the cliff. And she heard the boulders, and she moved around this cliff and took up this position slightly higher up, and the markhor sort of went down away from her and then down towards this gully. And as she came down the scree slope, she did this rolling thing which she does. She'll roll right over on her back like a domestic cat. When she does this rolling, you know that she's into a serious hunt. We don't quite know why it is. Maybe it's to kind of mask the scent or change the colour. So she went further down, and she got to this point, and she was looking down at the markhor. And the markhor just went over the lip of the gully. And as soon as he'd gone over the lip, she charged down the hill, really long run. And got to this bush and hid in this bush. I was following her down, and I got to this point, and because of this black and white viewfinder in the camera, I couldn't really see what was going on. And in fact, the markhor was just right in the middle of the frame. I couldn't see it at all. And so I was like, oh, where's she gone, where's she gone? Moved the camera, and at that moment, she charging out the bush and took him out. Jumped right on top of him, and they disappeared down to the bottom of this gully. She had made a successful kill, and so even with this white collar on, you know, she was obviously still able to survive. So that was quite a relief to see she could do that. That was good.
For the longest time, I was really upset. You know, I just couldn't see the justification of all of this. But now, having seen her hunt with a collar on, it's almost like she's happy. She seems okay, and it almost seems worthwhile.
The successful hunt is a turning point for Mark and Nisar. It becomes clear their photographic record will be more important than they had ever imagined. The researchers will be able to use these images alongside the data from the collar. They're far more informative together than either is alone. Using this combination of science and film, we're finally starting to understand this most enigmatic of creatures. A window on the life of the snow leopard has finally been opened. Over the next few weeks, another benefit of the collar becomes clear. In the past, the team had to rely on instinct or rumours to find the leopard. Now they can use hard data from the collar. For the first time, the team can actually follow her. The information from the researchers leads them back to the local village where Mark films her sleeping next to a fresh kill. But the camera reveals her prey to be a wild markhor, not a goat. What is learnt from studying snow leopards now may help to save them in the future. But Nisar knows his leopard faces an immediate risk from the local villagers. He decides to visit the herdsman whose goats were killed last winter.
People like this need the support. They need to understand that there is a bigger picture. These people exist day to day. They have nothing. And as a Pakistani, I can empathize with them, that I can see their dilemma. You have to take these people into the fold if the snow leopard and the rest of these animals have to survive here.
villagers' images and explaining the scientific study, Nisar hopes to make people aware of the value of their feline neighbour.
Says, actually, this is my enemy. And then he looked at it again and he said, well, no, actually, that's my friend now.
This is their heritage, it's their natural world, it's their natural wildlife out here. If they're not involved, nothing will work. We must give ownership of the heritage back to these people.
By filming such remarkable images, Mark and Nisar have begun to lift the veil from this almost mythical creature. They set out to tell the story of an individual snow leopard, but in the event achieved far more than that.
Who would have believed during our time here, the first snow leopard collaring project in 20 years would not only come to here, but also collar our snow leopard. The issues involved in that are far more interesting than just trying to take a pretty picture of a snow leopard. We're all now involved in a much more profound kind of understanding of the conservation issues than when we first came here.
If you want to create awareness, if you want these people to feel that they belong and the animal belongs to them, they must share in that. So whether you show it to them in the form of a photograph or on a mobile phone or whatever it is, it's essential that that be shared with them.
My wish and hope that they see the snow leopard for real rather than on a mobile phone. That's what all the work should translate into. That should be something that they look forward to in their future. Not just this image, but the real thing.
I'm aware of the fact that our snow leopard will be used and exploited, whether it's for science or for tourism or to promote Pakistan's image. But if I'm honest with you, for me, personally, she's touched me on a much deeper personal level. That's something that demands that I come back and look after her the way she's looked after me.
That's next Friday at 8. As we're heading to Wales for an encounter with one of our most charismatic birds, Puffin Island, next here on BBC Two.